Welcome back, deep divers. We're diving deep today, ready to untangle a story that's deceptively simple, yet incredibly profound.
You got it. We're taking a look at the children's book, This is the Rope, a story from the Great Migration.
Written by Jacqueline Woodson, the award-winning author, and beautifully illustrated by James Ransome.
Now, don't let the children's book label fool ya. This story, well, it's a powerful exploration of family history, all set against the backdrop of the Great Migration.
Exactly. We're talking about that huge period in American history when millions of African-American families left the South, seeking, better lives and opportunities up north.
Right. And we've got our sources here, ready to unpack the layers of meaning woven into this book. We'll get to know the characters who are, intimately tied to this rope, the incredible journey it takes, the themes it explores, and, of course, the talented author and illustrator who brought it all to life.
The aim here is to uncover why this book, seemingly simple, offers such a powerful glimpse into American history and the stories that shape families, across generations.
It's all about those connections. And speaking of connections, where does this story even begin? With a rope, right?
It does. It starts with the grandmother.
Yeah, the grandmother finds this rope when she's just a young girl in South Carolina. Picture this, she's playing under a pine tree, and boom, there it is.
Just a simple discovery, an ordinary rope.
Yeah, but here's the thing, that ordinary rope becomes extraordinary. It becomes this powerful symbol of their family's past, their journey. It's almost like, think about the objects in your own life, right? Do they have hidden stories?
I like that. It makes you think. So the book introduces us to the family, one by one, through their connection to this rope.
Yeah, starting with the grandmother. She finds it, as we said, as a child, uses it for play, typical kid stuff.
It's just a simple jump rope.
Exactly. But this seemingly insignificant moment, it sets the stage. This little girl, she grows up to be the narrator's grandmother. The link, right, the south to the north.
It all comes full circle. And then there's the narrator's mother. The rope takes on a whole new meaning in her life, it seems.
Absolutely. It's almost like it's there for all these big moments. Think about it. They decide to leave South Carolina, head to Brooklyn for a new life. And how are all their belongings tied together?
You got it, the rope.
The rope. It's securing their entire world as they make this massive journey north. It's a powerful image.
It really is. And you think about the Great Migration, all those families making that journey, that rope. Well, it's like a symbol of both the ties they're holding on to, their family, and the ones they're leaving behind.
Yeah, leaving behind to create something new. And once they arrive in Brooklyn, it doesn't stop there.
The rope keeps going, right?
It keeps going. It evolves with them. They're in a new home, trying to find their footing. And that rope, well, it's there. They use it to dry flowers. Imagine that, a little piece of the South right there in their Brooklyn home.
Bringing a little piece of their old life into the new.
Exactly. And then it's a clothesline for diapers. The narrator's mother is a baby now.
Everyday life.
Everyday life, tied up with this rope. And then it's a toy tied to a duck. And then full circle, the narrator's mother uses it as a jump rope, just like her own mother before her.
It's amazing how one object can be so many things. Our sources even mention a time when the rope went missing for, 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The brothers were playing with it, typical brothers.
Happens all the time.
Right. And then, just as the narrator's mother is about to go to college, boom, it reappears. There it is, ready to help her pack up for this exciting new adventure.
Wow. It's like the rope was waiting for her.
Right. It's like it was meant to be part of all these big life changes. I mean, think about it. Her going to college, it represents everything they hoped for when they left the South.
The opportunity, the chance for a better life. The rope, it's a witness to it all. And then, of course, we meet the narrator. It's her story, really.
The one who's telling us all about this rope. And it's with her that we see. It's not just about the object. It's about family traditions, passing things down.
Oh, yeah. Her father teaches her how to tie a knot, using that family rope. A simple skill, but also, think about it, it's knowledge passed down through generations.
Right, from father to daughter through this rope. And of course, it becomes her jump rope too, just like her mother and grandmother.
Yeah.
A family tradition.
It comes full circle again. And there's this beautiful scene in the book, the family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
They use that rope to hang the banner. It's like all those years, that journey, it led to this moment, this celebration of family.
It's a powerful image. And the ending, so sweet. The narrator, she gets a new rope, a brand new one, to start her own story, make her own memories.
New generation.
And the old rope,
yeah.
the one that's seen it all. Well, it goes back to the grandmother. It's like a piece of their history, a tangible connection to their past.
It's beautiful. And the father, even though he's not always in the spotlight, he's still such an important part of the story.
Was.
He's the one teaching, passing those traditions down.
Yeah, it's subtle but powerful. It's like he's saying, this rope, it's more than just a rope. It's our family.
Exactly. And as we trace the rope's journey, right, through all these hands, we see these amazing milestones. It all starts in South Carolina with that discovery under the pine tree.
A simple beginning.
Simple but powerful. And then, bam, the Great Migration. It's upheaval, it's change, but also hope.
Hope for a better future.
Mm.
And that rope, well, it's literally holding their lives together as they make that journey north.
The rope is with them every step of the way. And then Brooklyn, a new city, a new life.
It wasn't always easy, I bet.
Probably not, but they adapt. And you see that in how they use the rope. From those flowers, a little piece of home, to the diapers, just everyday life.
It's like the rope is adapting right alongside them.
Right alongside them. And then, of course, the mother going to college. It's a huge accomplishment, a symbol of progress. And the rope is there for that, too.
It's a reminder of why they made that journey in the first place. And then we see the narrator jumping rope, playing.
Yeah, and the family reunion, everyone together. It's like the culmination of everything they've been through, all tied together by this rope.
And that passing of the rope at the end, so symbolic. A new beginning, but also a deep respect for the past.
A beautiful way to bring it all full circle. But this is the rope. It's about so much more than just a rope, isn't it? There are these powerful themes woven throughout.
Oh, absolutely. Family, the strength of family, those unbreakable bonds. It's right at the heart of the story.
And the rope, well, it becomes the perfect metaphor for those connections, those ties that bind them together across generations, through thick and thin.
It's like no matter what changes, family is constant. And of course, you can't talk about this book without talking about the Great Migration. It's woven into the very fabric of the story.
Right. And it gives us this really personal, accessible way to understand this massive historical event. You see it through the eyes of this family, their hopes, their struggles, their triumphs.
It makes history come alive. It's not just dates and facts. It's about real people. And the theme of change, adapting to new situations, that's huge too.
Yeah, they go from the south to the north, rural to urban. It's a huge shift. And that rope, it shows how they adapt. They find new ways to use it, new meaning.
It's like they're saying, we can handle anything, we'll find a way.
Exactly. Resilience, that's a big part of it too. And memories, heritage. Think about it, that rope, it's been there for so many important moments.
It holds all their memories.
It's like a physical representation of their history. Makes you wonder what objects in your life hold those kinds of memories.
It does make you think. And then there's hope, right? The idea that things can get better, that there are opportunities out there.
That's what drove the Great Migration, that hope for a better future. And we see it in the book, the mother going to college. It's like their dreams are coming true.
Dreams that started with that journey north, with that rope tying their belongings together. It's all connected. But, this is the rope. It's not the only story out there about the Great Migration. Our sources mention some other great children's books that explore this period, too.
Oh, yeah, there are some fantastic ones. There's The Great Migration, Journey to the North by Eloise Greenfield. It uses poetry to capture the emotions of the journey.
Really powerful stuff.
And then there's Overground Railroad by Lisa Klein Ransome.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
It tells the story of a young girl traveling by train from North Carolina to New York City during the Great Migration. It's all about courage, taking a leap of faith.
Wow, I'll just check that one out.
You should. And there's another one, Color Me Dark, The Diary of Nellie Lee Love, The Great Migration North, Chicago, Illinois, 1919, by Patricia C. McKissack.
What's that one about?
It's historical fiction, told through the diary entries of a young girl living in Chicago during the Great Migration. Gives you a really personal perspective.
It's amazing how many different ways there are to tell this story, to connect with history.
Right. And our sources also mention another book, Showway, also by Jacqueline Woodson.
Really?
Yeah. In that one, it's a quilt that connects the generations.
Interesting. Instead of a rope, it's a quilt.
A quilt. But the idea is the same, passing down stories, traditions, memories. It's like objects can hold so much meaning. They tell us who we are.
It makes you appreciate those little things, the things we might take for granted. But speaking of talented storytellers, we have to talk about the creators of This Is the Rope, Jacqueline Woodson, the author.
She's incredible. Award-winning author, writes for all ages. She's won the National Book Award, Newbery Honors, Coretta Scott King Awards. The list goes on.
She's a powerhouse.
She is. And her own life story, well, it's woven into her writing. She was born in Ohio but spent time in both South Carolina and Brooklyn.
That's like the story in the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She knows firsthand about those two worlds, those different experiences, and you can feel that authenticity in her writing.
That connection, the South and the North, it's all there.
Oh, yeah. And she's written so many amazing books. Brown Girl Dreaming, which is her memoir in verse, so beautiful. And then there's The Day You Begin, all about finding your voice, the courage to share your story, and each kindness, such a powerful message about the impact of our actions.
I love her work. It's always so thoughtful, so moving.
It is. And those themes, family, identity, the African American experience, they run through all her books, including This is the Rope. And then there's James Ransome, the illustrator.
His work is just stunning. It really brings the story to life.
Absolutely. He's a Coretta Scott King Award winner, too. Born in North Carolina, studied art at Pratt Institute, and get this, he was mentored by the one and only Jerry Pinkney.
Wow, that's impressive.
Right. And for This is the Rope, he used oil paintings. So the illustrations, they have this rich, textured quality, almost like you can feel the history in them.
I love that. And our sources point out how he uses color to tell the story, too. Warmer tones for South Carolina, bolder colors for Brooklyn.
It's subtle but effective. You feel those different worlds, those different emotions, and the way he captures the characters, their expressions, their emotions, it's incredible. He really adds another layer to the story.
Absolutely. He's a master storyteller in his own right.
Yeah.
And I know he collaborates a lot with his wife, Lisa Klein Ransom, who we mentioned earlier.
A talented duo. But as we wrap things up here, it's important to remember why this is the rope, why this story matters.
Yeah, it might seem like just a simple children's book about a rope, but it's so much more than that.
It takes a complex historical event, the Great Migration, and makes it personal. You connect with it through the eyes of this family, their experiences.
And that rope, it's more than just a rope. It's family, it's resilience, it's hope, it's memory. It's everything they hold dear.
It's that tangible link to the past. And James Ransome, his illustrations, they're like poetry. They add so much depth and emotion to the story. It's a perfect pairing.
It makes you think about your own life. What objects hold those kinds of stories for you? What are the things that connect you to your past, to your family? It's a powerful thing to think about.
It is. And The Great Migration, it's a story that deserves to be told and discussed and remembered.
Absolutely. So deep divers, as you go about your day, take a moment to think about those seemingly ordinary objects in your life. What stories do they tell? What memories do they hold? You might be surprised by what you discover.
That's a great takeaway. And thank you for joining us for this deep dive into This is the Rope. We hope you've enjoyed the journey.